1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. It's my time to rise. It's my time to shine. It's my time to live. It's my time to fly. It's my time. It's my time. I can see it.
What does walk in faith mean to you?
To walk in faith means to me that in every situation, no matter how tough it may be, no matter how hard the struggle gets, that you just believe in God, believe what He has done for you in the past. Think back to what He's done in the past and remember that He has promised never to leave us or forsake us, and just to put everything in His hands and have faith that He already knows what the end's going to be, and that we just have to lean on Him and have faith in His promise.
When was a time you had to walk in faith?
There's been numerous times I felt like I've had to walk in faith. But the most challenging time, I would say, would be watching my mom transition. Even though I knew she was ready, she expressed that she was ready to go, that she was not meant to stay here, and she was ready to be with God. It was still hard on me, so I had to lean on my faith and remember God's words. So that would be a time that my faith was challenged the most, because I couldn't quite understand, because she was a healthy woman. She was old, 93, but she was a young 93. And I knew that I had to trust God and lean to my faith.
May I answer that also? I would say that, and I think this is important because I know there are other moms and dads who have struggled through a really tough situation, but I would say that for about a year and a half to 2 years, my family struggled with one of my children just having a hard time, just trying to find their way through life. And we experienced things that we could never have imagined was going to happen, but I know that many families do. And I would say that it challenged my faith. It pushed me to really say, I'm going to have to lean on you, God. I'm going to have to let you fix it, because I knew that there was absolutely nothing. I had done everything that I could do as a mom. My husband had done everything that he could do as a dad. And so I think that situation was a situation where we learned really what walking in faith meant, and just being able to turn my child over to God, because He promised us that if we would bring him up in His way, that he would return back to it, and that God had His hand on my baby the whole time, and I continue to see God's hand in my baby's life. And so that situation has built my faith and challenged me to walk in my faith. That was really a really hard challenge.
During your walk, did you have any doubts? If so, why? If not, how did you keep the faith?
I wouldn't say I had doubts, because I've always believed in the power of God, that He doesn't make any mistakes, and that it was all going to work out for the good. I just kept in prayer. I leaned on Him, and that basically got me through that trying time. Mm-hmm.
I would say that I did not doubt God. I didn't doubt His ability to to help my family through that challenging situation. I didn't doubt him, but I will say I did allow myself at times to really be worried. And through that worry, I caused myself, some physical challenges, some physical harm, some illness. And so I was able to remember, again, talking about that faith, that I was able to remember that God has made promises to us to take care of me, to take care of my family, if I just served him and I believed in him and I worshiped him and I praised him and I started to walk in that, to walk in what he already told me. And so, yes, maybe a little doubt because I was worried, but then I have learned through this to just turn it over. Like I honestly can say I have turned it over to God and just waiting on him to do what only he can do.
What was the outcome and how did God play into this?
I would say that our outcome would still be developing, but I see God's hand. I have seen God's hand as I step back through every stage of my challenge with people that my child would encounter, not getting what he probably should have gotten, God always placed the right people in school, in church, in a neighbor. So I always saw God's hand. And so I am so thankful. The outcome is it's coming, it's developing. The story, God already knows the end, but we're walking through it in faith. And I am so grateful and I'm so thankful that I truly can trust him. And I see God working in my child's life to make his life better and to become who God has in him to become.
I would say that, you learn to accept what you can't change. And the beauty in it is that every day, I don't think it's the day that goes by that I don't remember my mom in some way, some funny thing. She always had a word for you. She was funny. She was deep in her faith. She loved God. She loved her church. And she loved people, and she was funny. She was humorous. Always had a saying. So we, as a family, always remember some of the funny things that she would say and do. So that gets me through it. When I think about her, some days I feel like crying because I miss my mom, because we were very, very close. But just knowing that she is in heaven. Because she had already told us, I'm not coming back for nothing. And she meant that. So I laughed because my brother was so very, very close to my mom. And he had a very hard time a couple of months after she passed away. It took a long time. So she finally had to send she didn't come, but she had to send somebody for him. To get him through that. So I see her just about every day in things that she said. Whenever we do something that reminds me of my mom. So that keeps me leaning on my faith every day.